On April 12, 1983, a young girl was born in Osijek, Serbia. She started playing tennis at the age of 8. She proved herself to be talented, winning against many players much older than her, but in a country divided by war, access to sport was limited. In hopes to pursue better opportunities, she and her family moved to Sydney, Australia. Based in Sydney, she trained daily with hard work and commitment. At the age of 15, she won the US Open girls single title and became the youngest player to represent her country in the Fed Cup. The following year, she qualified for Wimbledon and made history by defeating the defending champion, Martina Hingis, in the opening round, becoming the lowest-ranked player at number 129 in the Open era to defeat a top seed at a Grand Slam. It was this performance that kick-started her career, launching her to prominence on the world stage. In 2002, at age 19, she achieved her proudest career peak, ranking at number 4 in the world. The young girl who experienced tremendous success in her early years is Jelena Dokic. In 2017, Sydney's Sunday Telegraph, Jelena, now 37 years old, finally came clean about growing up as a victim of horrific physical, mental, and emotional abuse. She said that from a young age, her father, Damir Dokic, regularly beat and kicked her. He would pull her hair and ears while kicking her in the shins with pointy dress shoes, spit in her face, and belittle her with vile insults. Her father whipped her with a leather belt if he felt a training session was less than perfect or if a match didn't end in a victory. Dokic alleges her father beat her so badly she lost consciousness. The blow to the head dropped me, and as I lie on the floor, he starts kicking me. He kicks me near my ear, and my vision blurs. She confessed that the abuse started the very first day she started playing tennis, and it continued to spiral out of control as she grew up. Jelena confessed that it was not just the physical pain, but the emotional pain that hurt her most. She said, "When you are 11, 12 years old, and hear all those nasty things like slut or whore, that was more difficult for me." After losing to Lindsay Davenport in the Wimbledon semifinals in 2000 at age 17, Dokic said her father refused to acknowledge her following the match. When she finally reached him on the telephone, he told her not to return to the hotel where her family was staying. Damir Dokic told her, "You are pathetic, you are a hopeless cow, you are not to come home. You are an embarrassment. You can't stay at our hotel. Stay at Wimbledon and sleep there somewhere. I don't care." She was very distressed as she attempted to sleep in the players' area at Wimbledon. Finally, the officials found her and contacted her agents and arranged for her to stay with them. Damir was involved in several other violent episodes. At the Australian Open, he had a physical altercation with the camera crew. At Wimbledon, he smashed a TV reporter's phone. At the US Open, he erupted in fury at lunchtime one day over the price of salmon. Damir Dokic was eventually banned indefinitely from all World Tennis Association events after a series of public indiscretions, including accusing Australian Open organizers of fixing the 2001 tournament draw. Despite the alleged beatings, Jelena Dokic said her biggest regret was her father's decision to force her to switch nationalities from Australian to Yugoslavian in 2001. "If there's one thing I could take back what he did or certain decisions, leave all the physical stuff and abuse, this was the one thing I regret," Jelena Dokic said. She switched allegiances at her father's insistence to represent Serbia in 2001, following allegations by her father that the draw for the 2001 Australian Open was rigged against her. The reaction in Australia was brutal. Dokic was booed heavily by the home crowd as she walked out for her first round game against 5-time world number 1 player Lindsay Davenport. Jelena lost that game. In 2005, after months out of the game struggling with injury and personal problems, Jelena Dokic returned to Australia. "I am Australian. I feel like an Australian and I want to play for Australia again," she said. In 2009, at the Australian Open, Dokic reached the quarterfinals, defying her injury and exhaustion to beat 29th seed Alyssa Klebanova in a thrilling match. Jelena was once again the toast of Australia, a decade after her breakthrough Wimbledon win. In 2017, when Jelena was 37 years old, she was finally able to break the silence on her abuse, giving her a form of release from the burden she felt.